sergeant. I'm currently functioning as the on-call PIO, and I'm responding to the homicide scene that is behind me. I'll start off with just as with any loss of life, it's very tragic and obviously concerning for the public and for the police department. Our hearts go out to the families involved. Next of kin has yet to be notified, but they will be in due time. The information that we'll provide this morning will be pretty limited. Homicide investigations, integrity on those investigations is pretty key, so we won't provide as much information as we would like, and we apologize, but as soon as possible we'll provide additional information through our public information office or through the homicide unit. So the basic case details: at about 6:03 a.m. Austin 911 received multiple calls, some in reference to shots fired in the area and some in reference to a medical call, a subject with a gunshot wound that needed medical assistance. Police, fire, and EMS responded to the area, which is the 9800 block of Middle Fiskville, which the area behind me, and life-saving measures were attempted on the subject that was called in about, but those were ultimately unsuccessful, and that subject was pronounced deceased at about 6:31 a.m. As part of that incident, of course, our homicide unit was paged out. Our ag assault unit is also assisting, as well as a multitude of patrol officers, and then once again, fire and EMS responded as well. As part of the investigation, they'll canvass the area for video, talk to witnesses, things like that. This would be murder number 5 in Austin this year. And of course, there was another homicide within the same patrol sector, so a natural question would be if these two incidents are related. Right now, all information available indicates that they're isolated, they're not related to each other. Of course, if they were, we would push that information out if there was a threat to the public. Right now, we're not concerned about a threat to the public. We don't believe that this is an ongoing issue or, like I said, related to the first incident. The deceased is described as a white or Hispanic male. I do not have an age range of that subject right now, but a white or Hispanic male. And like I said, pronounced deceased at 6:31. We do not have any specific information that we're requesting or pushing out for the public, but of course, people know things in these types of investigations, so please, if you do have information that would assist the police department in solving this incident, we would appreciate it. You can call one of two numbers. You can call the homicide unit directly, 512-974-8422, which is TIPS, and then the same number for Crime Stoppers, or a similar number, 512-472-8477, which is TIPS. I think that is it that I have right now. I can try to answer some questions. What you got?
Any details on possible suspects?
We don't have anything to push out right now.
Do we happen to know what this building is for? Is this a house? Is this a business?
I don't know. I think it's a residence, but the area has a composition of some businesses as well as residences, so I'm not sure specifically.
I was speaking to somebody at this who works over here, and he described this area, this building, as something that resembles some sort of game room with slot machines and stuff. Do you have any details on that, if this was related to that?
The question is, the new staff was told that this was a game room of some sort. I don't have information that it is. I apologize, and I don't know if your source is credible on that information or not. So.
How is it being possible to relate this homicide to any of the other 4 that occurred before?
So there's a total of 5. Like I said, I don't think we don't believe this is related to those previous ones. There was, of course, the one last night that is pretty close. So obviously that's something that the public would think or infer, and I would infer as well. But the information we have is that they're not related.
Can you talk about, from y'all's perspective, I mean, this homicide, the shooting that happened last night happened a week apart from the one that was right down the road at Club Rodeo as well. Can you talk about just crime in this area, if there's going to be increased patrol, if that's conversations that you guys are having at APD?
On a weekly basis, our executive staff has a meeting in which they look at crime trends in the area. Our crime analysts pour information into that meeting. Our area commanders provide input, and so those conversations are always ongoing. Do I have specific information as far as like what resources will come here and whatnot? I don't have that information, but it is always an ongoing conversation. We have to be responsive as a police department, understanding kind of where crime is happening and how best to address it. The other part is like the public is key in all of our in all public safety relationships. Providing information to the police department on suspicious activity or specific crimes, like people providing information to the police department in this, that public-private partnership is really important.
5 homicides in the first days of the month is a lot in comparison with other years.
I don't have crime stats. I mean, things do come in waves. At times, it feels like we have 5, and if we do the stats, we're going to have a large number at the end of the year. There's of course not a bright line. Just because 5 happened at this point in the year doesn't mean that number is going to extrapolate throughout the year. But yes, it is of course concerning. I'll take one more. If somebody has one more, and then we'll wrap up. I think we might be done. Thanks for your time, guys.